Hello guys, welcome to an English class which I decided to teach here live on my Facebook page. I hope that the Saturday weather is good, but still we have some time and we have some energy to study new things today. And I hope that you are enjoying your weekend, and I would like to help you today with your pronunciation, because I will be talking about the most commonly mispronounced words and letter combinations in English, which usually cause troubles to non-native English speakers. So you all know that the spelling system in English is crazy. Spelling, it is how we write words. Yes, the letters we use to write words. And very often it is two different things. The letters which are written and what's said about this word. And especially if your alphabet in your native language is different, I think that you could find the English spelling confusing. So I will be teaching a series of classes telling you about the biggest problems, the most difficult things about English spelling. Hopefully it will help you to improve your pronunciation, because you will stop making mistakes. If you do, maybe you don't, okay, but if you feel that you are not sure how to read this word or this word, I will tell you about the craziest spelling tricks in English, which will hopefully help you to improve your pronunciation and listening. Also, I told about it, yes, this week, that if you expect this word to be pronounced differently from the real pronunciation, it means it will be very difficult to understand it from listening too. But what are we going to talk about today? So first of all, I have chosen my top 5 of unhappy words in English which usually cause us trouble, which are usually mispronounced. And we will check if you pronounce them correctly, yeah, because if you make these mistakes, like many non-native speakers do, so please stop doing that, because this is actually, I can't say it's easy, but we need to work with that, yeah? So this is my top 5. These are the words which I correct every single day with my students and with my friends who speak English. Of course, I don't correct them, but I hear that they make these mistakes. So take a minute and think and talk with me, okay? So talk with your computer or telephone if you are listening to me and you can speak. So how would you say these words? Just 1 minute, think about it. And then I will explain you where is the trick, right? I mean, where is the secret? So the first word, my absolute top. So people forget to skip this L all the time. And it's terrible. I correct it, and people keep making this mistake. So we say, don't forget that in English, a lot of words have silent letters. And sometimes it's a rule. Like in some words, like if we say no, for example, every time when you see this combination K-N, it's a rule that K is silent, so you don't say it. This will be one of the rules. But if we talk about half, it's not a rule. You just need to remember this particular word. There is a small rule about L, though, because if you have the combination of L and M at the end of short words, L will be most times silent. Again, it's the rule. You should say palm. Yeah, like this part of my body. Palm. And another word which I correct very often, so everybody tries to say calm. No, it is a small rule of English spelling that if L goes before M, we don't usually pronounce it. So we say calm. Are you calm right now? Are you nervous? So don't make this mistake. Many people do. But half is just crazy. So you just need to remember that L will be silent here, okay? Half and calf. We have two similarly looking words and similarly read, pronounced words, okay? So this is the first thing. The second thing, this temperature. I have heard so many variants of this word. I can't even count them. So we say, okay, temperature. Temperature. So this is this so-called phenomenon of this final suffixes, okay, which usually miss a lot of vowels. That's why it's just two sounds, cha at the end, okay, and the beginning is quite simple. So you say temperature. And every time when you see this combination, it will be a rule. So you will say cha here. So you don't say future, right? I hope so. Okay. And remember this word and use it as your sample. Yeah. So use it as a rule. If you say future, then you will say feature, creature. And this is the second thing. I like it very much, the suffixes in English, yeah? Because in long words, only one or two syllables will be heard, will be strong. Because of that, we have a lot of interesting things about reading these final suffixes. And I will be also talking about that. The next one, so usually, and you know, people are trying and they are trying to make it like, no, it's silent again, and it's really a top word. And unfortunately, even at high levels, people sometimes speak English fluently, yes, fast, but still they say that usually. No, it's usually. So this U has changed S into J, and we will be talking about it too. So usually, okay? And what is the problem with the silent letter? You know, sometimes I notice such a thing. People know the rule. So for example, they know that K is not pronounced in KM, yes, KM. For example, they know that L is not pronounced and U is not pronounced, but have this problem because they remember this letter is there. So they are trying to reduce it, but somehow say it anyway. So not N, yeah, but it's N. Yes, this letter is written there. Yes, it exists, but if the rule is that you don't pronounce it at all. And in the case with usually, okay, this is very, very clear. So don't try to put it like quickly because it's there. For example, if your native language is Russian, yeah, we like to say that we read everything like it's written. But it's not true. We actually have different variations and so on and so on. We make reductions the same way we do in English. So remember that if it's silent, it's not there. So we say usually. Good. And this one, yeah, my absolute favorite, because if I remember correctly, this GH combination, you can read it in 5 different ways. And sometimes it's a rule, sometimes it's just a group of words, and sometimes it's just because. Yeah, we very often say because about English spelling, and I can give you the history of the phenomenon, but well, everything happens spontaneously in the language. Yeah, the language is a living body. Okay, so in this case we will say laugh, and there are some words like that, and we usually say there are words like that. So it's laugh, it's cough, it's enough, and tough. So generally, yes, just remember these words: cough, tough, like difficult, yeah, hard, something is tough, enough, and our favorite, laugh. And again, so the first problem, yes, GH, it's F without any variations, and this U is silent. So you say laugh, okay? And yeah, there are some small rules about GH. I'm like working on myself to start to go deep into this topic and to write you an article about it. But generally, let's make baby steps. Yes, so laugh, cough, tough, enough, and this is just F. Yeah, this simple F. So what about though? This is one of those 5 things, and you can say, yes, though is spelled the same way. That's why I tell you it's not a rule. So you just remember, okay, there are 5 words like that, and that's all. Because here it will be O without any consonant. And it's not unusual for this GH, because, for example, if you remember night, it is also silent there. So it happens with this particular letter combination. So you say though, and my favorite, furrow. Oh my God, somebody's making repairs in their flat instead of learning English. So furrow, like detailed, yes, very deep. Thorough and though. But enough, tough, cough, and laugh. And this one, also one of my favorites, because how do we read this word? Well, vowel here is okay, so it's a general rule, open syllable, it's A, okay? But chaos, and this is one more source, one more problem we have in English. Sometimes the same letters can be pronounced in 2 different ways, maybe in 3, maybe in 4. It happens due to historical reasons. So if the words came to English relatively late, like after the 10th century or something, they kept their pronunciation, or they got their own pronunciation. And sometimes the words can look the same because one word was, for example, I don't know, German, yeah, from this German dialects at the beginning. The other word came from Latin or Greek, like in this case, yeah, and they are read differently. So church, yes, usually we say ch like ch in English, but in words which are of Greek or Latin origin, we very often say k. And people ask you, how do I know? Yeah, if it's Greek or whatever. If your native language is European too, and if you have these words, because we have house in Russian, right? Because it came the same way, it came from Greek. It's unlikely that English word, yeah, so English words in Russian are only very, very, very modern ones about technology and all this stuff, yeah, by the way, technology. These words came from Greek, and that's you need to read them with k. So I have already found you an example. So you say technology, technology, tech, yes, technical, because the Greeks invented technology in its beginning, yeah, meaning. So we say stomach, because again, it's a word of not English origin. For example, architecture, chemistry, and character, yeah, for example. So generally, you need to remember that CH has two different readings in English. And in this case, okay, you need to remember and you need to check. Of course, at some stage, it's better safe than sorry. So go and check in the dictionary and always use the dictionaries with pronunciation. I usually recommend Cambridge Online Dictionary. It's free. It's the website. You can go to the website, put in the word, and listen to two different variants. So they give you American pronunciation and British pronunciation. And this is very good because sometimes it's you know, yes, in these two accents, we have two different variants of pronunciation. But they are minor comparing to all these rules. And I'm trying to systemize it for you. I'm trying to give you the most typical, like the biggest. I have a list, so to say, for English learners. So if you have any questions about English, I recommend to use this book all the time, because I respect Michael Swan. He's a very good grammarian. So practical English usage, it has some chapters about vocabulary, it has some chapters about grammar. So generally it's very good. So yes, he says about ache, this word for pain, yeah, to have pain. Okay, so ache inside my heart is aching. It's from Queen's, yeah? Archaeology, architect, chaos, character, chemist, Christmas, Christ. Yes, we say Jesus Christ. So Christmas, mechanical, technical, stomach, and the name Michael. Strangely, yes. So we say Michael. We spell it with CH. Well, I don't know the history so deeply, but if you are interested, of course, I think in Oxford Online Dictionary, at the end of the article, you can find the etymological notes. So they will tell you how it happened historically. Okay, so we are done with my top 5 of the most mispronounced words by English students. So one more time, half, palm, yeah, calm, half, temperature, usually, love, and chaos. Thank you very much for listening. I enjoyed it very much. I hope you did too. So please write your questions in the comments and I will be teaching classes. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend, guys.